All right, welcome back. And in this tutorial, we're going to be adding the characters to the screen, and we're going to be using rectangles for those. And then we're going to not really use the CSS and HTML too much. So I'm going to change the view a little bit here. They've got a change view icon here, and then puts it on the right side, our code on the left. Since it's so small, I'm going to adjust the header in the canvas to 80%. And then maximize our JavaScript by double clicking this bar, or you can also drag it. All right, so now we've got it here. The main thing we want to start with is we want to define our game loop. We're going to wait for the window to load. And we're going to call the canvas, and then we're going to draw on the canvas. So let's go ahead and get the canvas set up first. And this right here is just that HTML canvas, get the ID canvas. So that's where that comes from. Okay. You need to get a context of 2D since you're building a 2D game. All right. And then we need to draw. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to clear the entire canvas every time we call this function. Start at 0.00, go to the canvas width, and the canvas height. All right. Then we're going to draw our character. And because we're drawing more than one shape on this canvas, we're going to use a context type begin path. All right, so this is where we're going to be passing in the X, Y positions that start our character, and then the width and the height. So let's go ahead and do character X, character Y, character width, character height. And let's define these. So our character width and height are going to be 50. Then character X is going to be 50, and character Y is going to be 50. So this is going to give us a square, 50, 50 down, 50 down, and 50 right, the top left corner, and it's going to be 50 wide and 50 high. Okay. We're going to make this one green since these are here. And then just put a stroke on it, like that. Spot, stroke style, black, and then we're going to say context, dot stroke. So this is the attributes for the fill and the stroke, and these actually apply it. Okay. So now we actually need to call the draw function. And there's our hero. He's green with the black border. And it's stretched out because it's based on the size of the screen, but this is 50 units. You can see it's the same from here to here as it is from here to here. Okay, so we have our hero. We also want to draw our enemy, so let's go ahead and do that. We're going to do begin path as well again. Let us know that it's a new shape we're drawing. It's also a rectangle. And we're going to have an enemy X, enemy Y, enemy width, and enemy height. Okay. Make him red. Oops. It's an equal, should be an equals, not a parentheses. And make it fill. Let's do the stroke as well. The conts and the context mixed together. All right. So now we need to define these variables of enemy x, enemy y, width, and height. Let's do that. Enemy width is going to be 50, same as our hero. Height is also going to be 50. Then the enemy starting position, we're going to make that, that's the x and the y. Well, enemy x, we're going to say canvas width minus enemy width. Where he's going to start. Enemy y, canvas height minus enemy height. That's where he's going to start. Okay. See what our error is. Canvas, after H. There we go. And now we have 2 fix there. Now we have 2 different starting spots. One's starting at the bottom right corner, and one is starting here. We can start the enemy anywhere we want to, but starting in the corner gives him the opposite position of our hero. And we're going to put the coin, we're going to randomly draw the coin all over the map. So we don't really want the hero and the enemy to be very close to each other at first. Alright, so let's draw the coin. And we're also doing another begin path, because it is a new shape we're drawing. And just for now, we're going to do rectangle again. And call it the coin X, coin Y, coin width, and coin height. Make this one yellow. And then context dot fill. Alright, so now I need to define these variables. Let coin height equal to 50. Coin width equal to 50. Coin X. Alright, so we want the coin to be somewhere randomly on the canvas. Okay, we don't want it to be the same spot. So we're doing math, not random. So give us a completely random number. We're going to multiply that times the canvas width minus the coin width. So this will ensure that it's always on our canvas. And then we need to do coin Y as well. Math that random. Canvas height minus coin height. All right. Now let's go back here. See what we did wrong. Fill style. Maybe an extra Y there. All right. And there it is. So you see our hero, our enemy, and then our coin. And then every time we reload this, it's going to change positions. So if I had a line of code here, you see the coin's going to randomly change positions. Cool. So our hero doesn't move yet. We'll be working on that next. And then after we get him moving, then we'll worry about the enemy moving as well. So let's look at getting how we're going to get this guy to move. We're going to use the WASD keys. You could map it to any keys you wanted to, up, down, left, right, arrow keys you wanted to. But I'm going to use the WASD keys. for my movement function. So we need to create a new function called move. And this will take a position. All right, so it's going to be a switch. We're going to switch this position variable. And the position is going to take either right, left, down, or up. Okay. So in case it is right, right, now we're going to basically move the character to the right. So we're going to say character x plus equals speed, and that's the speed we want to go. Break. So speed, we're determining how fast we want it to move when we push a button. So I'm going to go up here and say constant speed. Well, let's not do a constant, still lag. We may want to change the speed if there's some kind of like a power up or something like that. Is equal to 25. So every time we move the character, it should move 25, which is half of its actual size. Let's do that actually. Let speed equal to character width divided by 2, since it is just half of this. That way, if we change this to 100, then he'll actually move 50 as opposed to having it hard-coded. Like that better. Okay. So now we've got the speed that he's going to move. So we'll say character x plus equals speed. It's left. Character x minus equals speed. Because we're going the opposite direction. Okay. Case up. Grab the character y. And we're going to subtract it because this is 0, 0, so up would be negative. Break that. Case down. Character y plus equals speed. Break. Okay. And then the only other thing we would have for move is if we restarted the game. Case restart. Then character y. Start y. Okay, so we need to create these two here. Let's call it character start x and character start y. All right. And since those are constants, we'll move them higher up. And then we'll use this for our x position and that for our y position, just to go ahead and get them set up. Okay. So now that they're in position, we can use these again. Start y and start x. All right. We need to reset the enemy back to where we had it to begin with. Let's do the same thing with him. Okay. Let's create these variables for the enemy. Here's enemy right here. Do the same thing we just did here. The enemy start x. Enemy start y. And remember, we're not doing the 50-50, we're doing this little canvas width minus enemy width for x. Y. All right, now everything should be back to normal. So we got our enemy back. We've got our hero up here. Coins still randomly generating. Okay, so we've got all that working. So now, if we pass in a position to this move function, it should go ahead and do so. So we're drawing everything first. And then we're going to say move left. Now, this isn't actually going to do anything because we're not redrawing anything just yet. Okay, but when we redraw, this should be moved halfway off here. All right, so we call this we need to go in position. All right, that's much better. And there it goes. So the hero's on kind of moved over 3 times. So now that we've done that, we can move this draw function into our actual move function. So we're going to call draw after every time we move him. And you saw he moves over, he's moved over here. So let's do this, and then we're going to say move down. There it goes. Okay, so now he's moved down, but we want to reset it. We'll restart. And there it is, back to the beginning. So we know those work, which is awesome. So now we want to actually make the move with the button keys as opposed to just writing them out here. So all we have to do for that is to assign keys that will actually move the right, left, up, down, and restart. We can do it with buttons on the screen, or we can do it with keyboard keys, and I'm going to do it with keyboard keys. All right, so now we need to add the Keypress events. So I'm going to listen for key presses. Document dot add event listener. Key press. It's an event. We can actually do this real quick. Console.log, key pressed, bit.key code. So we open up our console, clear all this out. You see, I press the W key, that's the 119. S is 115, A is 97, D is 100. Okay. So now we can go here and say if event.keycode is exactly 119, W key was pressed. We're going to move up with W. There he goes, moves up. Okay, so we're going to copy this and just change it from the keys. So let's see, let's go down next. And down was 115. That's the S key. Okay. Then it's jumping up a lot because it's doing this one, then hitting this one, and this one's doing the W 3 times. I'll just make sure the down was working. All right, so let's go left next, which would be the A key. It should be 97. And then go ahead and do right key, which would be D. And he's going to be key 100. When this reloads, we should be able to move our hero right, left, up, down. That's moving the right amount. So you can see he's moving off of the canvas. We don't want that, obviously. Okay. Press and hold, moving at the speed we want to move. All right, so we don't want our moves to go outside of the box, because right now if we go, he goes wherever he wants. So let's go ahead and put limits on these. Okay, so on the right one, for example, we'll say if the character X is less than the canvas width minus the width of the character, then we will allow him to move. So let's test that, and he is stuck on the edge. That's good. So the left, the same thing, but the opposite. It's still different. So we're going to say if speed, it's which he's moving at, is less than or equal to the character X position, then he gets to move. So right now he's at 50, speed's at 25, he gets to move. Speed's at 25, he's at 25, he gets to move, so that brings him back to 0. Speed's at 25, he's at 0, he cannot move past that. So left and right are contained within the grid. He can go out, up and down, so we need to fix those next. So up, we're going to say, if same thing as time left, speed is equal to, less than or equal to character Y. And if so, then we'll reduce speed. Let's make sure that works. Yeah, he's stuck up there. Okay. So up and left, this is going to 0, and that's why these are this way. And right and down are going to be adding to it. That's why you got the canvas width in there. Minus the width of the character because everything's done in the top left corner. So if down, character Y is less than the canvas height minus the character's height. The great thing about using variables is you can read everything here, but we can also just change up here the character's height and the character's width, and all this will adjust to that. No having to go down and track all your numbers you put in. So let's make sure the up and down work. Up works, down left corner. Let's go to upper right corner. Yeah, we're good. So the character is contained, our hero, is contained within the canvas. Awesome. So now we've got our hero that can move around the screen, we've got our coins, we've got our enemy. So in the next video, we're going to allow the hero to collect the coins. We're also going to allow the hero to lose lives if he detects a collision with the enemy. We may even be able to get the enemy to move around on our next one as well. So I'll see you in the next video.